Hello you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're watching BookedonCharity, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my most anticipated releases for January 2023. So now this list is very long and I'm going to be doing my best to go through the books as quickly as possible. Okay, the first book is Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is a new series introduced in an existing world that she's basically worked on before, and I believe it's called Elfame. And this is following a main character who is a young queen who runs away from home to go basically live in the wild for a while until she gets found out by none other than a prince that she was betrothed to, and he needs her help to go to the north and I don't know, conquer or something. Holly Black also wrote Book of Night, which was not liked that much, but I've heard that their YA fantasy is really good, so I'm willing to give this one a try. This is again another one where I don't know if I need to go back to read the other books that occur in the same world, but we will see. The next book is called The Drift, and this is by CJ Tudor, who's also the author of The Burning Girls, which I read, I believe, early last year. Last year being 2021, it's still 2022 for me, and I absolutely enjoyed it. So in this one, we follow, I think, one main character, and it's kind of like the end of the world. The world is ending, they're waking up to all this carnage, and they end up being trapped somewhere, and there's also a virus on the loose, and essentially they need to survive and get out of this alive. The next book on my radar is Hellbent, and this is book 2 of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Now this one is still following Alex Stern. This is a dark academia book which I don't want to know the synopsis about because I am reading Ninth House in January. It's part of my January TBR, but as soon as I'm done with it, I will really be interested in getting into book 2. The next book on my radar is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which is the third book in the Last Hour series. The first one is Chain of Gold, then we have Chain of Iron, and Chain of Thorns is releasing in end of January. Also, I'm not going through the synopsis of this one because the series is one that I want to pick up very soon, so I'm gonna leave it at that because also this is a sequel to the series, so I'm not gonna be spoiling it from anyone. The next book I'm interested in is called God's Killer, and this is by Hannah Kaner, and this is following a main character who literally kills gods for a living until she finds one god that she cannot kill, and that god is linked to a noble girl on the run. That sounds really good, and I'm looking forward to reading it. The next book I'm interested in is Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun, and this is by Al Cosimano. So Finley Donovan, this is the third book in the Cozy Mystery series, following Finley Donovan, who kind of found herself being a gun for hire. I think in the first book she was found in a coffee shop or something writing a mystery book, and somebody mistook her for an assassin, and she takes the job, I guess. So this is just a continuation of that cozy mystery, and I've heard really amazing things about it. The next book is called The Villa, and this is by Rachel Hawkins, and this is a gothic suspense mystery thriller where this group of people go for a holiday in Italy in a villa, and somebody dies, and essentially trying to figure out what happened to this person and who actually committed the murder. So it's, I guess, a murder mystery. The next book I'm interested in is called Song of Silver flame like night, and this is by Emily Wen Zhao. And I just want to read a little bit of what they say. It says, in a fallen kingdom, one girl carries the key to discovering the secrets of her nation's past and unleashing the demons that sleep at its heart. An epic fantasy series inspired by the mythology and folklore of ancient China. This sounds really, really good. It sounds so amazing, and I'm really excited for it. This is the first book in a series called Song of the Lost Kingdom. So this sounds very interesting, and I'm really, really excited to read the series. The next book on my radar is called Mame, and it's by Jessica George, following a main character called Maddie living in London. She's of Ghanaian descent, and she's living with her dad who has Parkinson's, and she's the main caretaker of her father and her mom, who still lives in Ghana but is very overbearing. So I feel like this is going to be a book that explores a lot of family dynamics, especially looking at an ill family member and having to take care of them and what all of that looks like. The next book is called Loath to Love You, and this is by Ellie Hazelwood. And I know it's a romance, and it's like, Charity, you're anticipating romance releases? Well, I do have one book from Ellie Hazelwood, and I think the idea of her books are interesting to me because the main characters are women in STEM. I am a woman in STEM, so I find that interesting, and I like that she's giving women in STEM a chance to also fall in love, even though people might think that you're weird or quirky or whatever the case may be. This one seems like an enemies to lovers romance, and if I had to choose a romance trope that I'm more inclined to enjoy, that is definitely the one. The next book I'm interested in is called Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and this is by Talia Hibbert, which is a new book that she's releasing that has no connection to the Brown Sisters trilogy. And in this one we're following, I guess, maybe two main characters. I don't know if we're going to be hearing from both characters, but we've got social media content creator as well as a football player. The football player suffers from OCD, while our female main character is obsessed with UFOs. So we'll see what that kind of dynamic looks like, but I am just excited to see Talia Hibbert writing a book that includes two main characters who are love interests who are both black. Well, I'm assuming they're both black, looking at the cover, because in the past she's done a lot of mixed race relationships, and that is fine, but I feel like we're still lacking a lot of black on black romance from black romance writers, and I just don't know why we never went in that direction in the first place. And this is, for me, this shortage of that, and I love to see that we are going in that direction right now with Talia Hibbert. So I'm excited to read this one. The next book is called Friday I'm in Love, and this is by Cameron Garrett, who also wrote Full Disclosure, which I absolutely enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one. And in this one we're following a main character who's turning 16, but instead of having a sweet 16 birthday party, they decided to have a coming out birthday party for their 16th birthday, and I think that's really interesting. I feel that Cameron Garrett writes YA books that are very important to read, and I'm thinking that this one will be along those lines as well. The next book I'm interested in is All the Dangerous Things, and this is by Stacey Willingham. I've actually already read this book, but I've read it via audiobook on Libra FM, and then I received this arc. So I will reread this arc, but this is following a mother who recently lost her child. Lost in the sense of the child was actually kidnapped from his bed a year ago, and she's having trouble dealing with all of that. It's been a year. She's still looking for him. She still thinks that he's out there, and at the same time she has a sleep disorder. So when she was younger, she would sleepwalk and lose spaces of time in her life, but now she is struggling to sleep. She's not sleeping at all, and she's still losing spaces of time in her life. And you're kind of dealing with an unreliable narrator because she's also not sure if some of the things that she's been told actually happened, because she either doesn't remember it because she was like sleepwalking, or she just lost spaces of time and she doesn't know what's going on. But this is a mystery book, which I feel was very, very interesting, and it touches a lot on, like I said, sleep disorders and mental health, as well as parenthood, motherhood, and loss, grief. So it has all of that, and I really enjoyed it, and I will definitely reread the physical copy and finally do a review, because I have not reviewed it yet. I just read it. The final book I have is kind of a weird one, in the sense that it is the 8th book in a series, and this is a series that I have not even started. I don't even own any of the books, but I do know that I am interested in reading the series for sure. And this is called Lost in the Moment and Found, and this is by Shonen McGuire, and this is book 8 of the Wayward Children series. So Wayward Children follows a group of kids who have magical abilities, and they tend to disappear at a certain age. Either some of them go like under the bed and they disappear through a door, and they end up in this other magical place where they, I guess, go to school there and end up living there for a couple of years. But then at a certain point, it's like that world is done with them, and then they spit back into the real world, and they have to navigate being in the real world after living in a magical world for a brief period of time. So book 8 is essentially following through on the story. I'm not going to be reading the synopsis because, like I said, this is book 8, and I still need, I still need to get to book 1 and move along the story. But I am really interested in this series. It sounds very whimsical, it's very interesting to me, and I've heard really amazing things about it. And those are all the books that are releasing in the month of January that I am interested in. Please let me know in the comments down below if there's any other books that you guys are interested in and maybe I need to be aware of, or maybe anybody else in the comments can check them out. Please don't hesitate to share them in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends and family so they can be exposed to my channel as well. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.